of accidents. Recently, a young man was hit by a vehicle due to the heavy traffic and nearly lost his life. The air is suffocating, the stench is unbearable, and it poses a serious health risk. We constantly suffer from malaria due to mosquito bites. Our children are also affected. The stench and flies are unbearable, despite us paying taxes.
Walking close to the garbage heap faces unique challenges. One vendor who sells dresses near the heap described his daily ordeal.
We lose customers due to the stench from the nearby garbage heap. Although some still buy, the clothes end up smelling of garbage. So I spray perfume on them at home. I usually sit across the road and wear a face mask when I come across to serve customers.
Overwhelmed by the dire conditions, the uncivic behavior of some merchants, they are desperately calling on the government to step in and address the situation to ensure a safe and healthy environment for all.
And despite official directives for an effective Clean Thursday operation aimed at maintaining cleanliness by mandating businesses to open at exactly 10 a.m. after cleaning their premises, several establishments have chosen not to disrespect or disregard the measures or regulations, sparking public outcry and calls for stricter enforcement. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa.
The initiative known as Clean Thursday was introduced with the intention of fostering a cleaner environment within commercial districts. However, its effectiveness has been undermined by businesses that opt to remain closed up till the mandated opening time of 11 a.m. Here in Douala 2 municipality, hygiene is the order of the day. Markets are closed every Thursday morning to keep places clean, and people respect a lot. Some even clean before the day. We have negotiated with the mayor to have us cleaning days on Saturdays. Since Thursdays are days we make a lot of sales, so we open such days at 9:30 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. Residents and regular businessmen have expressed frustration over the lack of adherence to the operation, noting that the streets do not appear noticeably cleaner as intended. Our rulers have to be very strict on us because there are people who do as it pleases them and cannot apply the Operation Clean Thursday. Calls have been made to local authorities to impose stricter penalties on businesses found in violation of the Clean Thursday regulations.
Some people they take part, but not everybody. Yeah, so at times we used to pay. We pay people to clean the place. The place is always clean.
Residents and business owners alike await concrete actions from authorities to uphold the spirit of Clean Thursday and reclaim the city's reputation for cleanliness.
And in the neighborhood of Mabanda in the Douala 4 municipality, the rainy season brings not only showers but a deluge of problems for its residents, with homes constantly flooded. Many are forced to abandon their properties, seeking refuge elsewhere to escape the rising waters. More in the full story. Through this hole in the wall of his house, a resident who chose to remain anonymous releases water to prevent further damage. He is not alone. Many in Mabanda neighborhoods live in homes that are perpetually flooded during the rainy season. Some homeowners have simply abandoned their property, fleeing the persistent threats of being submerged. When it rains, we swim here. It's an extremely bad situation. It is a common scene in the Mabanda neighborhood during this time of the year. all gutters are overwhelmed, circulation of water is blocked due to accumulated filth, and the entire area is in a state of disrepair. Houses are completely moist, and the unsanitary conditions pose significant health risk, especially to children. A lot of people pull down their houses because they promised to extend the roads and create gutters, but nothing has been done. Children sometimes risk their lives, forced to climb across small wooden paths placed over gutters. Many fall ill frequently due to the damp and dirty conditions. Water constantly rises up here, and it's like someone is sending the water, but no, when it rains, that's what happens. Residents blame the constant flooding on several factors: the absence of adequate drainage system, poor urban planning, and the filling of marshy lands, which exacerbates the situation. These elements combined put they at even greater risk. Our children constantly fall sick here. The last time I checked in the hospital, they told me the hygienic condition. As torrential rains continue to batter the city, there is a growing risk of more people abandoning their homes due to floods. A concerned residents cried out. What is the population of Cameroon? A question that remains unanswered. The last official figures dates back to November 2005, the time of the most recent general population census, and despite the head of state calling for a new census in 2015, 9 years later, there is still no update. The lack of data complicates planning efforts. This problematic is being observed today, celebrated or observed as World Population Day. More in the following story with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa.
How many people live in Cameroon? According to the United Nations Habitat's global calendar, population censuses should occur every 10 years. Cameroon has conducted 3 censuses. The first in 1976, revealing 7 million inhabitants, the second in 1987 with 10 million, and the third in 2005, showing over 22 million. These last figures are now 19 years old, despite a presidential directive. In 2015, the Central Bureau of Population Census has been slow to act. The absence of a census will make that the government will not be able to easily plan for the nation. A well-census territory will push the government to know how to plan for the development of the state. The country faces a significant gap in understanding its exact number of citizens, their age distribution, whether the population is aging, and the percentage of women and children. This absence of data complicates planning and affects housing policies. A well-conducted census plays a pivotal role in the development of a nation across multiple dimensions. Firstly, it provides crucial demographic data that informs resource allocation, allowing government to effectively distribute funds for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and social service where they are mostly needed. The first 2 censuses in Cameroon were conducted by the Ministry of Planning and Territorial Administration. The Central Bureau of Population Census undertook its first census in 2005, and its second attempt is eagerly awaited.
I will take you to the Balum village in Bamikumbu, grouping of Boulder subdivision in the west region of Cameroon, enveloped in grief or by grief following the discovery of Ferdinand Kenny's lifeless body found decomposing and partially eaten by dogs 15 kilometers from his family home. More in the following story. The scene happens in Balum village, situated in Bamikumbu, grouping within the Boulder subdivision of the Bambutus division, west region of Cameroon. Village has been gripped with sorrow and consternation following the tragic death of Ferdinand Kenny. Kenny is said to have been responsible for setting fire to his in-laws' herds and poisoning vineyards on June 22. Was found dead approximately 15 kilometers from his family home. His decomposing body, partially eaten by dogs, was discovered in a field. Martin Kuyampi and Gabriel Lunsi, Kenny's brothers, recount the harrowing discovery.
Il y a un état de décomposition avancé. Encore que le commandant était déjà là.
After the local gendarmerie from Bamisau inspected the scene, Kenny was swiftly buried. The burial, the entire Balloon village along with his family is in deep mourning for one determined young man whose life took a sudden and tragic turn.
Si on ne purifie pas la concession, c'est que prochainement il y aura toujours des cas comme ça qui vont suivre.
In Bamekumbu tradition, as in other Bamlikis regions, such dirt are marked by purification rites. The village chief Zumnu Pierre oversees these traditions, aiming to cleanse the community from the ill omens associated with such an unfortunate demise. Ferdinand Kene, in his early 40s, leaves behind 2 widows and nearly 12 children, making his untimely and grim death all the more heart-wrenching for those he left behind. And we take you to the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, precisely neighborhoods of Olembe and Angonzoa, where the population continue to decry heavy traffic jam on the stretch of the roads that keep many at the same spot for hours. This has been the situation for over a year following the relocation of the bus station at Olembe. Works to enlarge the stretch have been announced by the Minister of Public Works, but yet to begin. More with our reporter, Haisencha.
The stretch of road from Olembe, Nkozwa, Akak, Ebang has become so renowned as one of the major traffic congested areas in Yaoundé. A total nightmare for the inhabitants of the neighborhoods, especially during the morning and evening hours.
Ici en Nkozwa, c'est grave.
The road is very small. Any little accident, circulation is blocked. You can spend 2 hours at the spot. Afternoons are a bit free, but in the morning and evening, it is difficult. I have been trekking for over 1 hour 30 minutes because it was needless taking a taxi and staying at the same spot. The situation at the exit and entry point to and from the West region and other parts of the country is worse on weekends, following the deployment of commercial transport buses and heavy-duty trucks. This has resulted to exorbitant tariffs on motorbikes, which many see as the best option.
On nous porte quittant de Nkozwa pour la ville 1000 francs et ce n'est pas facile.
I transport passengers to Mesasi for 1,000 francs, Emana 2,000, so I have parked here to wait for clients that pay well. Those with 300 or 400 francs, I am not with them. Even visiting the neighborhoods has become so difficult for others. I have people that whenever I invite them on Saturdays, they tell me clearly that they cannot come because of the traffic jam. But there is hope, as the Minister of Public Works has announced the enlargement of the 22-kilometer stretch from Olembe to Obala as a solution to the problem.
And works to double the Lembe-Obala stretch of road have begun this Thursday. The project to extend the road to 17 meters is aimed at reducing the heavy traffic jam in the northern entrance of the city of Yaoundé. Launched by the Minister of Public Works is expected to be completed in 2.5 years. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
This is what the 22-kilometer stretch linking Olembe in Yaoundé to Obala, the northern entrance to the city, is expected to look like as the construction works to double the road kicks off this July 11, launched by the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Nganu Jumesi.
This is the continuation of a vast program we have been conducting as decided by the head of state. This is a section of the very important corridor Yaoundé-Enugu. You know, we are working, the head of state is working to open our country, to conquer, you know, the market, in the neighboring country. So my appeal is that we should use that opportunity to create our business possibility in order, you know, to evacuate our production.
The project, to the tune of over 27 billion CFA francs, is co-financed by the government of Cameroon and the Development Bank for Central African States. The works will permit the building of a new 17-meter wide carriageway with 1.5-meter shoulders on either side, 2 interchanges as well as a footbridge and associated roads. A relief moment for the population of Olembe, Nkozwa and Komito, currently living the heavy traffic congestion in the neighborhoods. It's a very good initiative because we are really suffering. The traffic situation is extremely bad. It is true that some of us with business structures by the roadside will be touched. The demolition will affect us, but we are happy of the relief measures. Expected to be delivered in 30 months. The execution is expected to reduce congestion along the Douala-Yaoundé, Yokongaoundere and Jamina corridors.
And that was a report by Haisen Cha. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal de International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is a debrief with Lil Piejou. As for me, take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.
Black